Good morning, students. Hope you all are doing well and learning through our online videos. I'm Shweta Tiwari, your science teacher. Now let's start our second video. Now tell me, students, what will happen if we plant a mango tree in a desert? Will it sustain without water for a long period of time? No, it will die. On the other hand, if we plant a cactus in a desert, will it survive? Yes, it will sustain for a long period of time. You know why? Because it has some special features to adjust in that surrounding. So this process of developing some special features in the body to adjust in its surroundings is called adaptation. So with this, we'll be starting with our second chapter, that is adaptation in plants and its uses. So let's quickly see again the definition of adaptation. The process of developing some special features in plants to adjust in their surroundings is called adaptation. We all need a place to live. Yes, the place where an organism or a plant lives is called its habitat. According to their habitat, we have divided plants into two types, terrestrial plants and aquatic plants. The plants that grow on land are called terrestrial plants. Again, depending on their type of soil and climatic conditions, we have divided terrestrial plants into four types. That is, first one, plants that grow in mountains, plants in plains, plants in coastal areas, and plants in deserts. Now we'll study about these terrestrial plants one by one. Starting with the trees like oak, maple, gulmohar, mango, shisham, etc. that grow in plains. They live in hot and dry weather. These trees shed their leaves to protect themselves from cold or hot weather. And that's why they are known as deciduous trees. Some trees grow on mountains. Trees like pine, spruce, cedar, fir, etc. grow on mountains and are tall and straight. They have needle-like leaves and bear cones instead of flowers. Tea plants also grow on hill slopes and valleys where there is heavy rainfall. Now we'll see the plants that grow in deserts. Plants like cactus, date palm, prickly pear, they need very less water, little amount of water. The plants either do not have any leaves or their leaves are reduced to spines, which prevents loss of water through leaves. They have green and fleshy stems which stores water and also prepares food for the plant. Now we'll see to the plants that grow in coastal areas. Yes, the area near the sea is coastal area. Plants like coconut and teak grow in coastal areas. These trees are also known as evergreen trees as they do not shed their leaves. Now, the next type of plant is aquatic plant. The plants that grow in water are called aquatic plants. These aquatic plants are further divided into three parts: free-floating plants, fixed plants, and underwater or submerged plants. First, we will see the free-floating plants. Water hyacinth and duckweed are examples of free-floating plants. The stems and leaves of these plants are very light and spongy, which helps the plants to float freely on water. The second type is fixed plants. The plants like water lily and lotus are examples of fixed plants. They have long stems which are hollow and light. Their leaves are broad and floating. They have stomata on the upper surface of the leaf. Then comes the underwater or submerged plants. For example, tape grass, hydrilla, and pondweed. They grow below the water. They have thin, narrow leaves, and these leaves do not contain stomata. They breathe through their body surface. Now, students, there are some unusual plants also. These plants do not make their food. In fact, they depend on other plants or animals or their surroundings for their food. Some plants, like dodder plant, coil around the other plant, that is also known as host plant, and suck the food and water from them. These plants are also called as parasites. Now there are some other plants also which trap the insects and absorb all the nutrients from their bodies. And these plants are called insectivorous plants. First example of this type of insectivorous plant is Venus flytrap. Whenever the fly comes and lands on its leaves, its snap shuts around the insect and traps the insect. Another example of these type of plants is pitcher plant. The leaves of these plants are of pitcher shaped with a lid. When the insect sits on the mouth of the pitcher shaped leaves, then its lid shuts and the insect gets trapped inside it. The third example is the sundew plant. This plant traps the insects on the deadly hair that covers their leaves. The sticky drops at the end of the hair kills the insects. Now these plants trap the insects, digest them, and use the nutrients for their normal growth. Another such type of plant is fungi. We can see this is mushroom, the largest fungi. Now students, if we place a piece of bread in a closed moist box for 2 to 3 days, it will develop a powdery patch on its outer surface. And these patches are called moles. One of the simplest fungi is mold. Let's see the characteristics of a fungi. These are non-green plants. They don't have real stems or roots. They cannot make their own food and absorb food from their surroundings. Let us see the uses of plants. Directly or indirectly, we are dependent on plants. Plants are useful to us as they give us food like fruits, vegetables, cereals, etc. Condiments like clove, pepper, cardamom, etc. We also get edible oils for cooking like mustard, coconut, groundnut, etc. They give us sugar from sugarcane plants and beetroot. Perfumes are obtained from flowers. We also get fibers from plants like jute, cotton, hemp, coconuts, which are used for making clothes, bags, brushes, brooms, etc. Plants and plant products also gives us medicines, like cinchona plant gives us quinine, which is an antibiotic used for malarial treatment. Oil from eucalyptus, neem, etc. are also used as medicines. Plants also give us rubber and gum, which are used for making erasers, toys, glue sticks, etc. They also give us wood, which is used for making furnitures, boats. Wood is also used for making paper, which is again used for making copies, books, etc. So students, in this chapter we studied about adaptation in plants, their habitat, terrestrial plant, aquatic plant, some unusual plants like parasites, insectivorous plants, and fungi, then the uses of plants. Thank you. Be safe and take care of yourself.